AD carries in League of Legends tend to be the punching bags of a lot of different jokes, but we're also currently the subject of a major conversation around whether the role is fun to play, why aren't more people playing it, and is there anything that can be done with bot lane in general, because it seems like not a lot of people are playing it. So I want to break this down a little bit, go into some of the reasons why, my thoughts and feelings on the matter, and see if there's anything that can come of this. So before we do, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Starting with the function of bot lane, what is our entire purpose? The Rick and Morty, what is my purpose, butter guy.
What is my purpose?
You pass butter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
We basically are a Trojan horse in a way, but also a glass cannon. We're not meant to be extremely high health, extremely bruiser oriented, although that definition can change as we experiment more with roles and what they are. But 9 times out of 10, you're a damage dealing carry that is meant to attack from range, which helps you take down towers early and siege objectives, but then provide late game damage insurance, which again, not all champions are designed to do that. Obviously, you look at somebody like Kalista or Draven, and they just get outscaled by other marksmen, but that's more of a discussion for the champions later. The roles themselves, we're supposed to be able to be easy to kill, but also very lethal. As for the champions themselves and the diversity of people that you can play, sure, it's pretty stock standard. You have people with varying amounts of range, but they all pretty much do the same thing, and there's only so much you can do within the creativity of the champions. Even though we have, what, like 30 some marksmen, something like that? At the end of the day, you need to be able to auto attack and have some utility in your kit to be able to escape. Now, both our champions and our role design change based on who's strong in the patch, but I don't really take much weight into whether one particular champion or role is weak at the time, because that'll fluctuate. The developers will constantly change what is going on in the game, keep it fresh for others. The relative power right now of ADC being weak because bruisers are better, I don't think is a valid argument for why less people play the role. That just doesn't make sense. So we have to look elsewhere besides the role itself, like the function of it, as well as the champions. The difference to me comes from how people actually want to play the role and how that works at the various different elos. It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments here, but most people want to play League of Legends at a casual level, at least in North America, to just be able to have that pop-off moment where they take over the game, where you single-handedly can be the reason why we all win this, because not all of us have 5-man stacks that we can go in and prep a team together, which makes AD carry a better role when you actually have people around you that can help you out. But in solo queue, in flex, in draft, and casuals, whenever everybody's kind of doing their own thing, if everybody is going off on their own, AD carry is the role that gets hurt the absolute most because we're reliant on other people to protect us. The nature of the role, for the most part, is that the champions don't have a lot of movement, barring Zeri and some of the other champions that they're trying to get some dashes on, but they deal death by a million paper cuts rather than, Jhin one-shotting somebody with an auto and a Q. There's a big difference. But in your lower elos, when you can't form a team around your AD carry, and also the AD carry is going to be naturally more unreliable, I'm not denying that, it makes sense, we're lower elo. It makes the role a little bit harder to play, but it's the reason why AD carry is so overpowered once you get to Diamond and above, and especially at the pro level, because teams know how to work effectively around this role that is more reliant. There's a reason why we are put with a support early game, other than like a Vayne top in a specific counter matchup. We need to be babysat. We need help because we can't do it all ourselves. We don't have the escape tools. We don't have all these other factors, and we're just generally weaker, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I think the community in general has a very warped perception of this, because being seen as needing to rely on other people at a lower elo is seen as weak, whenever I think that's a strength, but people just don't understand or don't think through it all the way. And that's not something you can change either. I want that to remain the same. That's part of what makes the role really fun for me, especially whenever I can play it at a rec league level, but I understand for casuals it definitely makes it tough. You throw on the fact that we didn't get any preseason changes to our role. Sure, some items changed, but very few for us. And overall, we're playing pretty much the same game that we have for the last 2 years since the marksman items got redone. But that's about it. So we haven't seen much change, so now all the problems are somewhat compounding on each other. don't know how you fix it, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me because I genuinely love marksman. Like, I'm not going to play any other style of champion. That's just who I like and who I enjoy. But Riot definitely faces an interesting question on their hands of, if AD carry is now becoming the role that gets most autofilled and people don't want to play it, especially at a lower level, and your audience in North America is casual, how do you bump up the bot lane play rate? Is it through champions? Is it through redesigning some of the mechanics of the game to make it better? But you don't want to change too much because pro play already shows that at the highest level, our role is just overpowered. I know some people are going to fight me on that and say that, yeah, support's overpowered, top's overpowered, etc. But who's the one winning the games, especially in the LCK, the LPL, some of these higher regions, that if you want to meme on North America for being like, yeah, your mid laners and top laners can do this here, etc. You look internationally, there's a reason why Gumayushi is heralded as who he was. Same thing with Deft, Viper, and many others at a very high professional level. They carry the team for a reason.